And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Stefan.
Yes, welcome back, Stefan.
So much enthusiasm.
He's excited to be
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Apparently, and his name says it.
Yep. Stefan doesn't like Blade Runner, even though today's topic, recasting Blade Runner, with Stefan.
I'm excited to make this movie better, guys. 150%.
This was a very interesting little challenge.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I have to say, I'm a little upset because my co-host of Drag Mish to Hell revealed that he got a movie that I dearly love, and I got Blade Runner. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not revealing what your future episode is, but I'm saying Rob. I'm saying Rob. We've known each other a long time.
Yes,
I love you.
But
what the fuck?
Right? It's because I knew you weren't fond of the film and thought you could make it better with your casting.
I am excited to
100% my thought process, considering I didn't know you hated it till I saw that word.
I've said it on your podcast before that I didn't like it.
So, on that note, we're going to start real quick by talking about your podcast, because it's coming back for second season now, isn't it?
We are officially back. We've done our first movie, which was Videodrome. We did, and we split our old structure of episodes. So we previously did like what we've been watching, and then built that into the movie that we're doing that week, and we've kind of split them. So we have our main movie episodes, and then we're going to be doing what we call Lil Hell, which is kind of like our review segment where we can stay away from these movies, watch these movies, like they're great. Like I just watched Seven released Siege, which is a Halifax film that fucking rips. I'd recommend it. That's something I'll discuss in like a future episode. And then we're going to be doing that's our interstitial episodes that'll tether our movie episodes. So the next movie we're going to be doing is 1987, I believe. From 1987, The Gate, directed by Tibor Takas.
Wow. See, that's the picture I saw. That's what I thought your first one was.
No. He's a family friend, actually. He's a great guy. I love him a lot.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I've watched The Gate since
ever.
Like I was a teenager or younger, like 12.
Stephen Dorff, yeah. And Louis Tripp, I believe, is the nerdy metalhead friend who I think is like the best character. But
well, let us know if it still lives up.
For me, it does. I watched it for the episode. I love it still. It's great. I think Mitch is going to absolutely hate it. So we'll see how that goes.
That one I'll watch. Okay, let's get into this list because I'm dying to see people's picks. But of course, we have to leave Deckard to the end. Deckard's our number one.
Right.
Okay. So we'll start with Zora. And Stefan.
Okay.
Zora.
So before we started recording, I mentioned that because I don't like this movie. I'm planning on being the agent of chaos for the episode. What I also said was that I don't think these like supporting roles are going to be like that chaotic, because I just want to like cast better people and have more interesting choices. So I picked actually Maggie Chung from Wong Kar-wai's Ashes of Time, as well as In the Mood for Love. She's also in Police Story 2, I believe. Basically, I picked her because she has like a great like physical prowess for this kind of role where she almost like bests Deckard in the film a little bit and kind of gets away almost. And I thought that would be like a very interesting person to portray that kind of character. But yeah, Maggie Chung. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah,
he actually put thought into this. I'm impressed.
Every character has a previous type of character they've played that I think would like bridge well to this, except for Deckard.
Can't wait for number one.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild.
Jason.
All right. I went with Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I wanted to go, keep it. Of course, all the replicants were like statuesque and whatnot, right? So had to keep it in that realm. But I've seen her play that kind of tougher role, Valerian and whatnot. She can pull it off well, and I think she would be a nice fit.
I actually had her in mind for Pris at one time.
I did have her considered in there, but then somebody else came to mind for me for that one. So, yeah, I think Carol Delamine, I think would crush it.
That's a good one. Not bad.
All right, James, what do you got?
I got Lynn Collins. Lynn Collins, she was the love interest from X-Men Origins Wolverine, but she was also in True Blood.
Oh, okay, yes.
Number 23, she was the Suicide Blonde. She's also gone like red. So I thought someone who's like can pull off being a redhead is pretty voluptuous, because really all Zora needs to do is handle like a big snake or whatever and then run away and
get murdered. I'm glad to see James has picked the number somebody who's in the number 23 as well as what was the first movie? Sorry,
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, what the fuck? Are you pro Origins, by the way?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Great stuff. Great start.
I feel like
she was also featured. She was also featured in one of the bonus episodes of season 10 of Walking Dead as the first love interest for Norman Reedus's Daryl.
And see, I will admit she was good in that movie.
And John Carter. John Carter.
John Carter? Holy shit. This is a great start. Keep going.
You don't like John Carter either?
No, God, no.
My goodness.
I feel bad because like Taylor Kitsch, I think like really tries for his roles. So he had like John Carter. He had the second season of True Detective, a show that I think is pure dog shit. Even the first season, to be completely honest. First
season is classic. Second season is my favorite.
I would want to see the third because I know that Jeremy Saulnier did like a few episodes. It's Stephen Dorff. Is Stephen Dorff in the third season?
Yeah, Stephen Dorff and Mahershala
Ali. Yeah. I mean, like, I'd be keen to check out the third season.
Three very different seasons.
Stephen Dorff did True Detective with the new Blade.
Mahershala. Yeah, and he was in the original.
And then he was in the original Blade, and then he goes on this rant about how Marvel movies suck.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, dude, you can't get cast. It's your own fault.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he was in the movie that helped save Marvel so that they could make the MCU.
Right.
And everyone gives him shit about it, but nobody gives Martin Scorsese shit about it because he's Martin Scorsese.
Fun fact about Stephen Dorff.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Fun fact about Stephen Dorff. I saw I also saw like a screening of The Gate with some of the cast who had come by. Obviously, Stephen Dorff is not among the cast that was present, but they all expressed a deep disdain for a young Stephen Dorff that I think has stayed with them up until the current iteration of Stephen Dorff, who is whining on the internet about Marvel movies. Like, I don't even like Marvel movies either. Like, whatever. But like, I'm not on like the expressing my disdain to journalists as an actor. Like, man, sit down. You're not getting cast because you're not like relevant anymore. Make yourself relevant, for the right reasons, of course. Not like
be good. They'll call you.
Yeah. Act well with others. Be a general nice person, and maybe they'll get roles. We'll see what happens.
I mean, now they're saying Snipes could be making an appearance as Blade in
Blade.
No.
Spider-Man. If that's the one that's throwing everything into it.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
I can't remember, but I just read it today that he's there. There's a rumor that they may have him be Blade for some sort of cameo spot.
Who isn't showing up in Spider-Man?
That's right.
That's true.
I think Han Solo is the only one, and that's because Harrison Ford will never play him again.
He also didn't really play him in the new movies, just saying.
Well, he was there.
He was there. He was present. I'm here on set, guys.
We're home. That was enough for me.
Yep. Well, I went with the statuesque style for Zora because, like you said, all the replicants were very statuesque people, except Leon. But let's not talk about Leon. And also someone who has played a physical role because Zora kicks the crap out of Deckard pretty darn hard.
Yeah, very well.
So I went with Charlize Theron.
That was my first pick. So,
all right.
Nice.
Yeah. I decided like I'll like move past it and we'll see what happens. So I'm glad I did because now we have like all different picks.
Yep. But after Atomic Blonde, you have to say, okay, she can do fight scenes. Like
hell yeah, Fury Road too. Woof. Like that's like
yes.
an A+ action movie right there.
Nice. All right, let's get to Tyrell.
I'm so glad, guys. I'm so glad our conversation has evolved in this way because my pick for Tyrell is Wesley Snipes.
Oh,
actually, yeah. So I think that like they had the actor who plays the bartender from Shining is the person who plays Tyrell in the film. I can't remember his name for the life of me. It almost his last name is almost like Tyrell. I want to say, and it's
Turkle, I think.
Turkle or something. Yeah, it's like oddly similar. I decided to not play kind of a like an eccentric person in the like the nerdy eccentric way that he's playing the character, and I thought that like Wesley Snipes and My Name is Dolomite did a great job, and I was like, I'd like to see like him play like a really integral role that he could bring a lot to that's on screen for a very short amount of time. And for a hot second, I almost picked the person who I picked for Deckard to be in this role. Then I decided I wanted Deckard to be the wildest, weirdest person possible and save it. So that's my pick for Tyrell.
My prediction: Jim Carrey.
You're oddly close. You're oddly close.
Wow.
Oh, so it must be Jeff Daniels.
No. Yeah, I wish. Oh man, that'd be great. All right, Jeff Daniels should be the police chief. As an aside, no, his name's brought up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't think of him.
I'm not editing again. Damn it! I already edited that one once. All right, my pick for Tyrell. I decided to go with a more like a traditional kind of fatherly type of actor. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Good pick. Good pick.
To me, I always felt like Tyrell felt like the father who lost control of his children kind of situation. That's how it always resonated to me. And I feel like, Patrick Stewart, come on, there's nothing the guy can't do. And he would be able to bring that fully to life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't argue that. Not at all.
It's Sir Patrick. Come on.
Okay, I can't argue that. All right, I guess James, what do you got
for Tyrell? I went with my favorite actor from Buffy. I went with James Marsters.
Ooh.
And the reason is you take the blonde hair away. He still looks as young as people probably think he is, but you get the brown hair, and he has the features that could be like a scientist or a professor kind of thing. And the dude is actually pushing 60 if it's that's even possible. But I thought it was the only other face that popped into my mind was, I'm going to go with him because he is starting to show his age a bit, but not 59.
Yeah.
But Tyrell being an older gentleman who's, as you said, like losing control of his children and stuff like that. I think he could still pull it off.
Definitely has a similar gaunt appearance like the replicants had.
Yeah, I agree.
The longer face kind of thing. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
Well, see, I always thought with Tyrell doing the replicants and stuff, he always looked younger than he was supposed to be. Like he had been experimenting on himself, that's why he seemed so small and not ancient.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I got my pick. And actually watching him outside the MCU, the movie called The Devil All the Time. Tom Holland.
Oh yeah,
really? Yes, because he is himself a lot older than he looks. He's playing a 16-year-old on TV, and I think he's mid-20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So
he still would have to age him up some,
not too much, though.
But not too much. Yeah, you're right. Like this is a guy who perfected that kind of thing. So their technology is supposed to be all about keeping your youthful appearance and stuff. So it would make sense. It could work.
That's one thing I might even change in the story. If we're going to recast, we're reshooting, we're rebooting. So I would have him, the genesis of the replicant program started with him experimenting on himself. That's why he looks so young.
Okay.
Also, do you guys watch Upgrade at all?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Like I think that the not like the main villain, because the main villain is the AI. Spoiler if anybody's not watched the movie.
Logan Marshall Green?
Not Logan Marshall Green, but the guy who plays like the like a founder of Google-esque kind of person. I don't remember the actor's name, but he has the blonde hair. Like that character could kind of be Tyrell. So like I think the Tom Holland casting is like a great decision. This is our moment to make changes to a movie that currently exists, right? So like you might as well swing for the fences and do whatever the hell you want with.
Yeah, you have a younger kind of almost baby facious, but he's old.
Yeah, or maybe he's been like imbued with like an intelligence that exists beyond his years, right? So it could be a young person who has like this like faculty who's like, I can create replicants. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great. I love it. Great call, Rob.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, let's get to Leon.
Oh, I love this. So the opening scene of Blade Runner, much like the opening scene of Blade Runner 2049, are the best scenes in the movie, which is why they're not good movies. That's where I land. But I was trying to think of like who could, much like I can't remember the actor's name, but he's great.
Brian James.
Brian James, thank you. He's a super talented actor. I was thinking of who could bring that kind of like bubbling below the surface anger to this role, and I immediately thought of John Carroll Lynch, who, you know, like him playing like the most likely killer in Zodiac, as like a really, really haunting figure, and he's also really, really good in The Invitation, as well as like pretty much every movie he's in, he elevates by being in it. I think
The Invitation is so good.
The Invitation is wonderful, and a lot of people like lose it at its like climax. I think it's a great climax. As much as like a movie about a guy who believes like his ex-wife to be in a cult, who's actually the problem, would be like a great movie as well. I do think that the ending works and it is like really, really great. And I think that John Carroll Lynch in this role would be like an awesome person who would do a great job. But I think this is my pick that most aligns with the current movie, I think. Like I'm not doing anything different. I'm just picking a character who could do that. Do you know what I mean? But that's
I had to look him up. I couldn't put a face to that name, but as soon as I saw it, yeah, okay, I recognize him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a super talented actor.
Okay, I don't know that actor. The description.
He's bald, a little bit like a little bit bigger.
You should know nothing, right?
He tends to play a little bit more of like the uncle-ish kind of thing, like you know.
He was also in a season of American Horror Story, I'm told, where he was like one of the circus freaks. He had like the evil clown makeup on.
Oh, he's in the second season of Channel Zero too, which is a show that everybody should watch because it's really, really good, and it's a horror show.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
And he was on The Walking Dead.
All right, Jason, who's your Leon?
Well, going with Brian James. Okay, Brian James was a character actor that was in everything back in the 80s and 90s. Like he was, when you needed a henchman that would stand out as a henchman, a named henchman, Brian James would be there. So I'm thinking, who's an actor that fits that bill now? And this was one of the first roles that I recast. Like going through the list, looking at who played him before. This was the first one that immediately popped in my head. Kevin Durand. He is
good pick.
Brian James. He is that named henchman that pops up. He can be menacing. He can be intense, but he can also be a little funny when he needs to, kind of thing. Hell, he played Odin on Vikings.
Okay. Yeah. Did he?
Well, he wasn't called Odin, but it was Odin.
Okay.
He was literally a security personnel in Cosmopolis, the David Cronenberg adaptation of the Don DeLillo. I think that's his last name. His book of the same name, Cosmopolis. I think that's a great pick. He's awesome, super talented. I also really like that movie, and everybody hates it. I think it's great.
It is a very strange but a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a single location almost.
Actually, my favorite role for Kevin Durand is the Walking Tall with The Rock.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
when they tear his truck apart and stuff. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I really enjoyed him in that film.
We got James just popped in, said, "Hey guys, good to see you."
Hey James,
thanks for joining us, James. Who's your cast pick for the recasting of Blade Runner? We're gonna find out James's Leon now.
My Leon, I went with Jai Courtney. And
That's
the
a good
reason,
one.
The reason I went with him, I think he's a good actor anyway, but most of the roles he does, he's like the hero or the good guy. But in one of the few times he played the villain, I'm not counting Suicide Squad because that was kind of like the villains doing good things, but he was a straight up bad guy in Jack Reacher, and he had the kind of menacing eyes that were looking at you, especially in the final fight against Tom Cruise in there. And I looked it up and like, well, he doesn't necessarily always look like the biggest guy, but when I looked it up, he's only about an inch and a half shorter than Brian James was. So
that's pretty good fit size wise.
Yeah.
I have to amend my response. I thought you were talking about Michael J. White.
No.
There we go.
Spawn. I was like, okay, that's great. Jay Courtney, not so great. I'm super glad you picked it. I'm happy.
Well, I followed suit, I think, a little bit with the superhero-ish, because this guy's popped up like crazy the past few years. Even in Black Widow, which he was amazing in. David Harbour.
Oh, nice.
That's a nice pull.
He could have that same intensity that Brian James has, Leon, especially that opening scene that Stefan loves. He could just pull off that intensity.
Well, we've gotten glimpses of that with his turn on Stranger Things.
Yes.
So, so we've gotten to see that. But what I've seen from him outside of Stranger Things, it's been a little bit more comic booky and silly and.
Well, even as Hellboy, I didn't mind. It wasn't Ron Perlman, which is the standard, but it was still good.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, all right, let's get to Sebastian.
All right. So for Sebastian, I picked probably one of my favorite actors that I like weird oddball actors for the most part. And for GF Sebastian, who's meant to be kind of like an odder character, I decided like that was my moment to like throw one of my favorites into the mix. And I love Jeremy Davies. I think he's great. He always plays like a wonderful. Yeah, like Ravenous is such a good movie. The Soderbergh Revisionist Solaris, where he's in that. He plays like the similar type of character. He's also on an episode of Hannibal, I think the second season. He does a pretty good job there too. He just slay this role. There's nothing much more to that pick, to be completely honest. Like I said, I'm being good for now. And I'm gonna be real bad.
Let's jump to one. I'm dying to find out now.
I don't know. Maybe like I'm building it up. It's gonna be disappointing. We'll see. Like, let me know how you feel.
Now that we've got this much oomph behind it, yeah, dude, no, you can never live up to it. Jason, what do you have?
This is one of where I kind of shifted direction a little bit to steer away, and it's mostly because I've seen work from my pick more recently, and I think he's got the chops to pull that little bit of quirkiness, a little bit of almost innocence at times with the toy thing that he had going on. I went with Orlando Jones.
Yeah,
really.
Orlando Jones. He broke out in comedy. He slipped some drama work in there. And then if you have not seen particularly the first season of American Gods, he plays Mr. Nancy.
Yes.
And he is spellbinding in that role.
Always meant to check it out.
I think that this would be a really good fit for him. It'd be a little bit different. It'd be a lot different from the original. I think he could have a lot of fun with that role.
Yeah, I love this pick. He also wrote, I think, because like the second season was such a shit show, I think he wrote some of it too, or something to that effect.
I think so.
I
haven't watched the third season yet, so
yeah. I mean, I checked out after Brian Fuller left personally, but did you like the second season? Out of curiosity,
I liked the whole show. Like, I'm
cool.
a fan. I just haven't got around to number 3 yet.
Yeah, I didn't stop because I hated it. I got distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
Squirrel.
Supernatural.
Yeah. James, who's your Sebastian?
My Sebastian, I was just looking at the William Sanderson. I almost wanted to say, I'm going to recast William Sanderson because I think he's still around. He just had that quirky look to him. So I went with someone who's finally reemerged into TV and movies, Nick Stahl.
Yeah. He's in Hunter x Hunter, which is a A+ movie in my opinion.
Then there's Terminator 3.
No, Hunter x Hunter. Watch that instead.
His villainous part in Bully.
Yes.
And he showed up in the latest season of Fear the Walking Dead. I'm like, oh, great. Nick Stahl's finally back.
They
found him.
After Terminator 3.
Cherry picking Walking Dead cast.
That's what I'm noticing.
Well, they just happen to be in
and
the
Walking Dead. And Walking Dead. And Walking Dead.
I'd also really like this moment to just like plug Hunter x Hunter. Everybody should just watch that movie.
What
Please.
is it again? Hunter x
Hunter. He plays. I don't want to say because it would ruin it, but it's an odd. Basically, here's the premise. Here's the super simple premise. A family lives off the grid. The husband is played by Devon Sawa, who is like reemerged as like a super talented person in much the same way that Ethan Embry has emerged as like super buff dude in his like elder years. He's living with his wife and his daughter, and they're basically fur trappers who live off the grid and then sell the pelts to a local convenience store. And then they quickly see that their traps are being their pelts are being stolen by a wolf that's killing them, and they quickly realize that they're chasing another type of wolf, and that's what I'll say. It's incredibly downbeat. Only watch it if you have a shielded heart and a iron stomach, because where it goes, last 20 seconds, get ready.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Now that warning makes me think of the end of The Mist. I'm staying away.
It's worse than the end of The Mist.
Okay,
and it's more violent than I would say like a lot of like French new extremist like martyrs-esque level stuff or inside.
Yeah.
No, I'm out.
It's wonderful. I personally love it. Mitch also did not like it very much. So, there you go.
I'll need a 500-word report.
Yep.
Each of you.
You got it. Let me see. My pick was actually my pick for Tyrell before I changed and went with Tom Holland. But I see this guy. He does amazing drama work, but I think he could pull off Sebastian very easily. Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh.
Jogo Lev can do no wrong for me. So sure, stick him in there. I'm in. He's one of those actors that I have not been disappointed by anything I've seen from him.
Exactly.
The films themselves might be questionable, but his performances are always great.
Okay, now we're to the one I'm curious.
Even Last Jedi?
Are we talking Last Jedi here, or am I going on?
Working Last Jedi.
Okay.
I blocked that movie out, remember?
Stefan, who is your Pris?
Again, I'm keeping it pretty normal here. I picked Micah Monroe, who is probably most known for being in The Guest, as well as the central character in It Follows. She was in an ill-fated Quibi show, as all Quibi shows were ill-fated, called The Stranger, I believe it was. She's also in Greta, which was I think it was like a middlingly reviewed movie, but I thought it was actually kind of like a ton of fun. And I think she has the kind of look to have like the punk rock, almost new wave makeup. I think she would like fulfill that role quite well. And that's literally the only reason I picked. By the way, I tried to watch this movie for this podcast and I turned it off halfway through. Like I got like, all right, here's what I need to know. And here's like what I can tether together from my memory. And I'm done. I'm not watching this fucking movie.
So next time Stefan comes over, we're going to have a drive-in night.
Oh, my nightmare. Do you know why that's my nightmare? Because it's harder to leave a drive-in than it is a movie theater.
Exactly.
Everybody's watching you when you leave the drive-in.
I left the drive-in recently and I was so embarrassed. Fast 9, not fun, guys. Not a fun movie.
What makes you think it would be?
Very fun.
Yeah, I wanted it to be fun. I was like, all right, I'm going to go and like have a dumb time. Granted, this was so I had my second vaccine 2 days before, and I was like horribly sick. Not to say I'm like unhappy that I got it. I'm super happy. I just got really sick, and that's the reality. And the next day afterwards, I was like 50% my level, and I went to go see that as or evening entertainment, and I was just sweating, miserable, and there was like no action, and it was too much of like the history of the Fast and the Furious movies, which I don't give a shit about. I'm like, just throw dumb action set pieces at me. They weren't doing that. It's 2.5 hours long. 2.5 hours. Like, what are you doing? Give me an 1.5 hour long action movie and leave all of your garbage character development with your like stock characters out of it. Yeah, I'm getting angry, guys. I'm getting angry right now.
When I go
I left that. Movie, I left it.
I shut my brain off. That's I know that these movies are going to be stupid garbage, but if I shut my brain off, I can have fun with it. I can enjoy it for the popcorn spectacle that it is.
Yeah.
But if they're doing too much friggin' history and
they're like,
is they're wrapping
here's
it up.
the character from like
they got
Tokyo
one
Drift.
more.
Two more.
They got two more. But this is what I mean. They're wrapping it up.
I thought these
they're not. They're not wrapping it up. They've
got, like I said,
there's going to be lots of babies from this, I'm sure. You know,
2 more films, so they're probably trying to get all the exposition they can into this one to set up the next 2.
I know. What
also, how was John Cena
movie split into 2 parts, just like every other friggin' franchise has done?
How was John Cena related to Vin Diesel? That's my question. And they're like, in the movie, they're like, the jaw is the same, and I'm like, no, it's not. You guys look nothing alike. This is insane. What if he was adopted or the milkman visited? I don't know. Like,
let's get back to more entertainment. Let's talk about Pris.
Oh, sorry,
Jason. Who's your Pris?
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. My brain first went to Margot Robbie, and I felt no, that's low hanging fruit. That's almost typecasting. Now, my actual pick is still in the realm of typecasting, but she does it so friggin' well. I'm going with Samara Weaving.
Nice. Yeah.
If she's
Margot Robbie.
I've heard her referenced as like a Margot Robbie knockoff, but to me, she does that insane psycho intensity even better than Margot Robbie.
Mayhem and Guns Akimbo, yeah.
Yes, those 2 movies in particular. Okay, if you have not seen Mayhem, watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's her and Steven Yeun just going crazy in an office building. But then Guns Akimbo is so much fun, and she's psycho.
Just look at Ready or Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great in that too. So that's where I got away from Margot Robbie. Samara Weaving is my pick for Pris.
Good pick.
Yeah.
All right, James. Pris.
I originally had Mackenzie Davis in this. Tall, skinny, beautiful, short hair. Would look great in that role. And I'm like, fuck, she was in 2049 as well.
Nope.
No, so I went with Saoirse Ronan. And
oh, dude, I almost picked her.
Now, in 2049, was she a replicant?
No, she was a hooker.
Oh, okay. Because if she was a replicant in 2049, she could have pulled the thought. You could have done it.
Pris is the entertainment model, right? So,
no, she was. I think one of her coworkers was a replicant or something, but she was the hooker that they brought back, and his hologram girlfriend kind of overlaid right over top of her. So they.
I think I know. Remember what you're talking about. I don't remember much of that movie. I did not like 2049. So
it's gorgeous. Anyway, so I went with Saoirse Ronan mostly because of Hannah, just because she has the completely kicking everyone's ass, but she's also got the whole sort of albino waif thing going on.
Oh, like Pris, because she was like all white.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
That is.
Pam says, "Hi guys."
Hi,
Hello.
Pam.
Hey Pam, we need to hear some of your picks. We're recasting Blade Runner, and we are at Pris. I went with something totally off the rails because a couple weeks ago I saw a movie called Freaky, which was a blast with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton.
Oh, nice.
And I love how she flipped from this emotionless person to a screaming teenager when she had to be. And I thought that is exactly what Pris is, because she's the entertainment model. So she's all wiggy, but she's business, especially at the end when she's doing all those flips and stuff.
Nice.
Very cool.
But yeah, had to go with her.
Freaky?
Yeah.
I vaguely heard of that movie.
It was the horror version of Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is great.
Oh my God, he's
Vince Vaughn
as a teenage girl.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
The run is everything.
He starts doing the cheer. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're to a cool one.
Brian. All right. Our police chief, right? He's a police chief, right? I believe.
Yes, he is.
Okay, cool. This person almost was my Deckard before I decided to go even weirder. I picked.
People were your Deckards.
Yeah, I had a lot. I had a lot casted up, but I picked Paul Giamatti, who's almost Deckard.
Oh,
Wow.
that'd be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, so my problem with a lot of this movie is that Harrison Ford is, in my opinion, mostly not a good actor. I think that is like the objective truth.
Oh.
I'd put it up.
Just crossed the line, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Wow.
No.
Movie fails because I'm in the bottom now.
Oh, he's still talking. I thought he would have stopped by now.
I don't like Harrison Ford's performance is really boring to me. I don't find it like really interesting. And I was like, oh, Paul Giamatti as like almost like, like Elliot Gould in The Long Goodbye had like an interesting performance in the sense that like his character was always kind of like everything bad was rolling off of him. And he didn't have like a typical like private eye kind of aesthetic. I was like, oh, Paul Giamatti could have like that kind of energy and bring that performance to it. But then I was thinking, like, I just want to watch Paul Giamatti be an angry police chief for a whole entire movie. So like I casted him as Bryant and removed him as Deckard. But
I like that pick because whenever I think Paul Giamatti, I think Pig Vomit from Private Parts.
Yes,
To me, that's the pivotal Giamatti character, And yes, I see a lot of Bryant-esque stuff in that.
Yeah, totally. I think it works well. Yeah, I'd like it.
So other than, what you said about Harrison Ford, we're good. Greg says, hey, everyone. How is everyone?
Good.
Jason, this is the first time we don't have you in bed in a long time.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
He's
Definitely not that as comfortable. That's for sure. Needs more pillows.
So we are on you for Bryant.
Bryant. Now, this is the one that I edited just before we went on the air. This is a bit of a tricky one. So I decided to shift gears, trying to keep with like an authoritative type of figure. I'm going with Viola Davis.
That's a good one. Yeah.
We've seen her as a true hard ass with her Amanda Waller. Oh, thanks, Rob. Here,
it's like the new Suicide Squad. Here we go.
Yeah. It's Viola Davis. Like she's a phenomenal actress. There's no denying it. She can bark orders. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So she just has to pull back her Amanda Waller a little bit, and you get Bryant. So yeah, I think she'd be a nice pick in there.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, James, what do you got?
Okay, a lot of my picks, because it had been a little while since I'd seen Blade Runner, I was referring back to the picture. So a lot of the actors, they happen to be good actors in my opinion, but they also have the look that's very similar to what you remember from Blade Runner. So from Brian, I went with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
See, he can chew up any character. So yeah, I'm Paul Giamatti-ing this, and
he looks very much like he has the exact same mustache, even as Emmett Walsh in there.
Yeah,
I actually considered Buscemi for Sebastian at one point.
What about Deckard?
Yeah. Craig says I would cast Simon Pegg in Blade Runner.
He could do Bryant as well.
As what role?
Or Deckard? Deckard.
Well, I have heard him. I have seen him do a very subdued performance in 24-Hour Party People.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I went off the rails on this one too. I thought of somebody that hasn't been around very much, but is making a comeback. He's got the portliness now that he never had when he was younger, but he's still, I think, a good actor when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it. Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
yes!
nice.
I'm getting my Brendan Fraser dream here. Thank you.
I know he's popped back and stuff like his Robot Man and stuff like that, but this would get him on screen again. And like I said, Bryant is a portly man, and Brandon has that going on now. So
he has packed on a little bit of weight.
So he's perfect for it.
I haven't watched it yet, but he's in No Sudden Move, the new Soderbergh movie, which Mitch watched and thought I was like, meh. But great. He said great performance from him, so I'm excited to see it.
Does Mitch like Blade Runner and Harrison Ford?
I feel like he's maybe neutral in this movie. I'm not sure. Mitch, are you listening? Probably not. He's probably working. He's probably working right now.
Okay,
he'll listen to it.
Our next officer, Gaff. Wait a second. Greg says, "Off the rails, Rob. James has changed you, Mr. Brendan Fraser. Don't think I'll ever trust you again."
I have to say, Brendan Fraser was like great pick. Honestly, like that's probably my one of my top 3 picks so far. I think it's great.
I do. I think he would be cool in that role because I loved him in The Mummy.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And there was some drama in there
and Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crash.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
My favorite for him is With Honors.
Oh, nice.
Oh yes.
With Honors is a movie that I have gone back to many times.
I want to say he's more recently in Satanic Panic, which is not a good movie. But he's good in it. I like. There, Mitch is here. Mitch is here.
Dude, you say his name, he's gonna show up.
What are you, Mitch? What are your thoughts on Blade Runner? Tell me right now, or I'm gonna cancel our podcast. Tell me right now.
And Harrison Ford.
Yes.
All right, let's get to Gaff.
Okay, so this is I can't remember his James Edwards Almost. What's his fucking name?
Edward James Almost.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm pretty neutral on Blade Runner. Thank you. I like to know that we're essentially like a married couple at this point, so we have to like be simpatico. I like that character. I think is kind of like weird in the movie because fan of Harrison Ford though. All right, we're divorcing. Mitch, it's over. Eddie, Jimmy, Almost.
That's him.
So I like the character in the movie is a little bit like a towards racist in a sense that like I understand his character is supposed to be like it's like a Creole of like Japanese, Chinese, Hungarian, German, but it sounds super like like doing like Chinese like it's racist. I would say I would go as far as to say it's racist. Yeah, like it's not good. And I was like toying with like picking like a Chinese or Japanese actor, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't go with Benicio del Toro. It's probably wrong. It's probably not a good casting choice. This is probably my least favorite casting choice, but I picked him because of
basically transposed Battlestar Galactica. Edward James Almost.
yeah. Like I picked him because of his like usual suspect lineup thing, where he's like, "Give me a key," and like he's like so like slurry and like. I feel like he could
repeat his line a couple times.
Yeah, like can you repeat it? And he's like, "Give me a key." Like he doesn't deliver the line appropriately, and I think that he could do like that. Like an appropriate type of that accent in that role, and it would be like less racist.
That could be it. Eddie James Almost there. He was doing it too accurate, and it came across as racist. So he's gonna slur it and blur it, and
it didn't sound good. Like I was watching it for like the first time in like I would say like 10 years, and I was like, wow, this is not okay.
The future is racist. We know that.
Yeah, the future is incredibly racist.
Jason, who do you got for Gaff?
I went for just physical appearance in this one. Okay, looking at Edward James Almost, and there was just one name that came to mind: Danny Trejo.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
Take out the racism aspect of things. I think Trejo could be a really good Gaff. He could bring that smolder. And then he's a badass.
Yeah.
See, I've always found the best acting I've seen him do was in Halloween. Yeah. Rob Zombie's Halloween, when he played the orderly that was friends with Michael Myers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I agree with you. I think he could be a really good Gaff.
He plays a heightened version of himself in the movie called Method in the Madness, or Madness in the Method, the Jason Mewes film.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite role for him, though.
Interesting.
But he is playing a heightened version of himself. So, and that's all I'm going to say. Anybody who's seen that movie, which is not a lot of people, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Danny Trejo in Madness in the Method.
It is on Amazon Prime. Watch it now.
Highly recommend it.
Sorry, that was my plug. James, who do you got for Gaff?
Okay, I'm going to say my pick, then I'm going to get some more water.
Okay.
I went with people who actors had a particular look that was very similar to what Edward James Almost looked like back then. And this actor, who's not exactly the same ethnicity, but seeing as Edward James almost created his own backstory of the character, making him Mexican, Japanese, and who knows who the character actually is. No, I looked into it, and he let him make up his own backstory.
I remember that, yeah.
So I went with the actor who was one of the stars of my favorite movie of last year, Tax Collector. I went with, and the way he looked in that movie, I went with Shia LaBeouf.
The Tax Collector is your favorite movie of last year?
Yes. All right. I'll let that marinate for a minute.
I'll be back. I'm shutting down.
Greg here, he says, let's get some wrestlers in there. John Cena.
No.
That was easy.
I like John Cena a lot, to be honest.
He's good. I find him like The Rock, where they are good actors.
Yes.
Yeah, they have like good comedic timing.
I wasn't sure, and then I watched The Wall, and that sold Cena for me.
For his dramatic chops, legendary is the one that where he like coaches his younger brother into wrestling or something like that. It was a more of a dramatic turn for him.
Heard of that one.
I really liked him for that. But right out the gate, I was impressed with John Cena in The Marine. I know it's a WWE film and it's a cheesy action flick, but I felt that he was kind of bringing up that breath of fresh air to a tired action genre. I really thought he was bringing something fresh there.
I got to watch it. Okay. Greg says, after James with the Tax Collector, I can be forgiven. Yes, Greg. Yes, you can. For my gaff, I went with a tried and true actor, a master chameleon. You know, this guy's played everything, and half the time you don't know it's him. Gary Oldman.
Oh, yes.
How do we know you're not Gary Oldman? Right
you
now?
don't know I'm not Gary Oldman, okay?
Cut.
Nope, still no. All right,
Method.
Okay,
method. I am a podcaster. But yeah, I thought Gaff, being that quiet guy, sits in the corner, mumbles with the like. I think Gary Oldman would just kill that role.
Gary Oldman could play any single character on this list.
Yeah, that is true.
Even the women.
Even Chris. Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of women, we are now into some meat and potatoes characters. Rachel.
Yes. So Rachel is a character who you're not supposed to know whether or not she is a replicant. So I wanted an actor that could portray a character in a similar way where they're like treading the line between personhood and AI. And I went with Lupita Nyong'o, who I love a lot. And the role that made me think of her was her character in Us, because she plays like a good dichotomy of characters. The person who is, the tether from the underworld, who had previously understood the world above because they switched places. I'm not going to explain the whole plot of that goddamn movie, but she does a great job of exploring two different characters, and I think she could kind of merge both of those two characters in a way that, I think I could work really, really well.
She's one of those rare Hollywood talents that, again, you got to, whether you put stock into it, she comes out of nowhere and gets an Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, and she's been able to maintain that level of experience.
She's so good. It's unreal.
She's able to just maintain that level of talent. And so it's really nice to see, and we're going to get a lot of great stuff out of her.
I think
definitely.
A long time.
Greg says Gary Oldman rules.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
And Mike says, "Hey, all, you must have done a lot of research for this list." Apparently not Stefan, but
this is literally a lot of my first picks, except for Paul Giamatti. I always said I swapped out. And, there's a lot of first picks.
I see. Even just spending an hour on the list, there's still a lot of thought that has to be put into this. You can't just throw names on this list.
Oh no,
no.
A couple were instant picks for me, but a lot of them put some thought. I had a few options weighed and all that stuff.
Yep.
So this was in total, I would say about 2 hours of my time spread out over 2-3 days.
Yeah,
revisit, come back, look at it again. And then 5 minutes before show, I write a new name in.
Exactly. And then change it all. Yeah. So who's your
didn't
Rachel?
blow up my list. That didn't happen again. That has happened though. Well, she came up on somebody else's list earlier, but for me, the only actress I can visualize for the current roster for Rachel is Charlize Theron.
Oh, there you go.
She could do it. Absolutely, she could.
like we've seen every side of her at this point, and so she could definitely.
Don't you think she's too old to be a replicant?
No,
Neither do I.
please.
Yeah, seriously, we have to reevaluate ageism.
What?
It's like insane in Hollywood.
If you
like,
really
after 20, you're like nothing.
Patty, so
If I thought she was too old to be a replicant, I wouldn't have picked her for Zora either. So
true.
yeah,
True.
because they're all the same age.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
James, who do you have?
I had just been recently rewatching both seasons of Wayward Pines, and so when I was thinking about this actress, I thought her look and her eyes and stuff just fit this one perfectly, and it was Shannon Sossamon.
Oh yes, I didn't even think of that. She did a movie with Heath Ledger called The Order.
And Knight's Tale.
Well, Knight's Tale, yeah, but The Order, she had a lot of.
Oh yeah, that's a heavy role for her.
Yeah. I didn't even think of her. Good call.
I'm down with the sauce. Let's do this.
Yes.
Well, who isn't? Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, the one that I went with, I think it might be a wild card pick, but I really think she could nail this. It's Chloe Grace Moretz. I think she could pull off that stare that Sean Young has, you know, where you don't even know if she's conscious, let alone thinking. And I think she could nail it. I do.
You just said
one of the first ones that I can't quite see.
Really?
This is rare. Of all the picks we've been throwing out, this is the first one that I can't quite visualize that one.
That's the best accomplice assault ever.
Like an innocent look to me. Like I don't see enough of like that stern, mature kind of thing from her. Mind you, she is young, and you know, I just heard about a film that will never see the light of day that she did.
Yep.
That
What was that?
I can't remember the name of it now.
What the heck was that called?
It was her with Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Oh,
She played.
Not a good selection nowadays.
It's something about Daddy. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this film will not see the light of day.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see if it's even on her IMDb.
Yeah, that had incredibly unfortunate timing that she should not be she shouldn't suffer the consequences of that.
Well, it was never released, and I doubt it ever will.
No, it will. Yeah. I think it had one screening somewhere, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're into the top two. Who is your Roy Batty? That's you.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the show.
No, I was ready to give my Deckard. That's why I was like thrown for a second. I forgot we had Batty. So like this is also one of the better roles of the film. Rutger Hauer delivers his like wonderful speech at the end of the film, which was, I believe, ad-libbed, which is again a reason why this script sucks and this movie sucks, is because Rutger Hauer delivered, you know, like one of the best lines in this whole stupid movie.
He just
impromptu, I think. Like I'm gonna keep needling this stupid movie. Rutger Hauer is awesome. I love Split Second. He's also great in a movie called Wedlock, which had an amazing premise that should be remade instantly. Like it's a great premise. I'm not gonna say it because I think it's gonna be an episode of Drag Mitch to Hell. We'll talk about it there if you want to find it. Mitch will hate it. I'll love it. It's the end of the story, really. But I wanted to think of a character that could kind of like have that kind of like, I'll bring something to this that you don't have to inherently have, and I'm going to fucking slay it. So I picked one of my favorite actors, the most beautiful man on the earth, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
he's gonna come in. He's gonna deliver your lines. He's gonna have that like snaky-eyed delivery where you're like, this person, I'm unsure of whether or not they're gonna help me or straight up murder me right now. I think he could deliver that quite well.
Dude, that is a great pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I honestly, mine can't hold a candle to that pick. Honestly,
mine can.
I love my pick. Okay,
wait until I deliver my Deckard, and then you're all like, go fuck yourself.
I'm jumping the gun here, but I would happily put my Idris Elba up against your Mads Mikkelsen.
That would be great too. Is that your pick actually?
What's that? Sorry?
So is that your pick actually?
That's my pick, Idris Elba.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
That's a good one. Yeah. I agree.
I'm gonna give the edge to Mikkelsen.
No, you don't.
What's yours, Jason? Oh, 'cause
Yeah, I know.
Who's closer?
Out of order. Let's do this.
And I don't mean them. I mean me or Stefan.
Okay, you're gonna start threatening violence. That's
Now-
usually
now-
my thing to him.
now I'm wondering if you're going to pick the same thing as me.
Mine at this point in the race, it's Mikkelsen with Idris Elba a close second, and then way down in third place, my Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's a good pick, though. I like him.
See, that one I couldn't see just because, well, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen him do a character like that. All of his characters are somewhat similar. Negan. You know, even in Rampage, he's freaking Negan.
Yeah.
The only time he's really different is Supernatural.
He's also great in The Good Wife, which is a show that I will continue to plug endlessly. That I don't think a lot of people have watched, but I think it's an awesome show.
And Grey's Anatomy. But even The Watchmen, he's Negan as a 60-year-old.
I don't care.
Grey's Anatomy is not a good show, by the way.
I know for all of the other picks. Okay, I'm still gonna give the edge to Mikkelsen. Like I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't think of Mikkelsen.
You're going to change your mind.
Oh, like here we go.
Oh, really? All right, let's bring it.
I
pick Fred Durst.
I think those are all great picks, but as soon as I got to Roy Batty, I thought this actor, and I stopped.
Look at the build-up. Wait. Where is it here? I got to do this. Come on, computer. And
Paul Bettany.
do what?
Yeah, that's a no for me.
Paul Bettany. End of discussion.
You're right. Get him out of the building.
No,
I love
he's
Paul
Roy
Bettany. I
Batty.
love Paul Bettany too.
See, I love Paul Bettany. I do. But I just
You can't picture him doing that speech in the rain
No,
not
with
as
the
Zero.
same color hair and all.
and not believe it like
he's a JF Sebastian, if anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or a Deckard.
No, don't you dare. You're gonna make Harrisburg blander, which is a hard thing to do.
Okay, of the four options on the table, I'm still leaning towards Mikkelsen. I don't entirely disagree with Bettany though.
I didn't.
He played a villain in Ransom. I
No.
think opposite Harrison Ford.
No, that was Gary Sinise.
Okay, he played a villain.
He played a villain opposite Harrison Ford. Firewall.
Firewall is the one. Yes,
Not
Solo.
a great movie.
Solo.
Oh yeah, Solo. Yeah. See, with like the red marks on his face and the blonde hair, you say he can't be batty? Come on.
I don't see that guy as Batty.
Oh,
Maybe from Fern Gully Batty.
second best Star Wars movie.
Hey, don't touch Robin Williams.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, honestly,
No.
I think Mikkelsen. That's
Nicholson's a great choice.
And trust me, I'm not going to discredit your choice because you have your reasons.
yes.
Right? As wrong as they are, you have your reasons.
I would not be disappointed with that pick. Okay, I wouldn't be disappointed with any of these picks.
I got to be neither would I.
Yeah,
Any of the ones that we've mentioned so far, no, I would not.
I'm a huge Idris Elba fan, so that's a great pick.
I did consider it.
Well,
I did,
But now we're going to find out. And Stefan, you get to go first.
Ooh.
So my Deckard, I wanted somebody who could both be neutral but also incredibly weird to kind of like elevate this dog shit character that has no personality whatsoever to a new echelon. So I have selected Crispin Glover as Deckard.
Oh,
Yes.
that okay.
All right. Reginald Val Johnson as Deckard. I also agree. No, police chief. He's upgraded. Reginald Val Johnson is now the chief of police. He is Brian.
There we go.
He needs to be upgraded. He's been on the beat for a long time. Family Matters, Die Hard 2. I don't know what else he's done. Blade Runner, chief of police. I picked. I'm a huge fan of this actor I picked. The Willard remake is probably better than the original. He is a weird person. I like weird people in general. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about that. I just think he would be great in the role. I'd watch that movie in a second.
And you also know if something happens with Blade Runner 2049 getting remade, you've got someone that can stand in for him, just like Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't need to be Ryan Gosling. It doesn't need to be Ryan Gosling. The best moment of Blade Runner 2049 seeing in the theater was when at the end of the movie, when they're having the like climactic emotional moment, somebody in front of me legitimately stood up in front of my face and farted. I'm not even joking. It was literally at the moment where he's fucking dying on the steps at the end of the movie, and somebody sits up right in my face and farts. I spent the remainder of the movie cry laughing into my partner's arm, just like, do people think it's me that just farted?
I honestly think you were going to say the best part of that movie was at the end when the credits started rolling. I thought that's what you were going to say.
I was having such a blast because somebody farted right in my face at the end of the movie.
Okay, this really puts shade on all your picks right now. I just got to say that.
He had an interesting 4D experience
at
Blade Runner
that's right.
2049.
Smell-o-vision.
When's that coming, James? Apparently soon.
They used to have the D-Box theaters. Does that
Yeah.
still?
It's still a thing in other theaters, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's Chatham. We don't get the good stuff.
We have the D-Bag Theater.
I was going to make that joke. I was going to make it.
I can't believe I said that. I'm so sorry.
The worst was Barco Vision. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Like the executives for Star Trek Into Darkness, the fucking worst movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like 3 panes of projection screen. So it's like 2 and then 1.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but
don't know.
It was a terrible idea. I don't know who spent money on that, but like they had like so basically that it was like partially panoramic, but it wasn't true panoramic because it's like 3 panes at like different angles. So it's not like curved surface.
How hard it would be to shoot that.
No,
but like it was only for like a few scenes, and then you're restricted to a smaller screen, central screen for the rest of the movie. I'm like, so why am I not like? It was a big stupid thing. Anyways,
like
that's Barco Vision.
Letterbox to full format and then back again.
Yeah, all that stuff.
That was WandaVision. They did it.
Anyways, Crispin Glover, A+.
There we go. All right, Jason, top that.
I'm gonna try. I'm going with a fanboy's wet dream here, but I'm trying to go with who would
dude, we have to recast. Harrison Ford's already been in it.
Paul Giamatti.
Who is the current generation's Harrison Ford? And there's only one name.
Paul Giamatti. I said it.
Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
that's not bad.
That's
Nathan
not bad.
Pull back the humor because we know he's got a great humorous side. You know, you pull that back. I think Nathan Fillion would be a great new Deckard.
That's a very interesting pick.
And I just want Nathan Fillion in everything. So,
wow.
You know.
Have you seen the fan film he did for Uncharted?
Yes.
That is freaking brilliant.
I want that movie. He was perfect. Oh, everybody had been saying Nathan Fillion for the Uncharted movie that's coming, but no, they're going in a prequel direction kind of thing with it.
The best part of that short film, though, is when he jumps out the window and he lands on the ground and the camera comes up behind him and it looks identical to the video game.
Yep. It goes into a third person view of like the video game action.
And it moves just as if you were shooting, and it was brilliant.
And Stephen Lang, perfect Sully.
Yes.
So, because I've seen that, it doesn't give me high hopes for the actual movie that's coming where Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully and Tom Holland is playing a young Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Tom Holland's already said he's kind of like disappointed the way he played the character, so that doesn't bode well for the movie overall. Yeah.
See, they're going with the younger. It's in the 4th game they delve into when Sully and Nathan first met, so they're doing that story.
Yeah.
What we need to do is just go back, start looking at some Tom Holland interviews because the spoilers are going to be there.
That's true.
All right. That guy's like Swiss cheese when it comes to information.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, James, who do you have?
My guy had like a very similar profile and like having like the very short cropped hair, the chiseled features and stuff. It's
Paul Giamatti.
It's my second Australian Terminator actor here. For Deckard, I had Sam Worthington.
No, no.
I think Stefan has feelings on this.
Apparently,
He's more boring than Harrison Ford. I wish I was in the room right now. I wish I was in the room right now, guys. We'd have a discussion with this.
He just punched both of you.
Right.
Damn. I'm not a huge fan of Worthington. I haven't seen enough where I enjoyed his performance. I honestly can only name 2 movies I think I've seen him in that I know of, and that's Avatar and Clash of the Titans.
What about Terminator Salvation?
Never watched it.
That was
Christian Bale in there?
Never watched
Oh, it is so good.
Mitch agrees. Sam Worthington is boring.
Perfect amount of boring for Deckard. I don't know. See, I love Salvation. That's one of my favorite movies.
What?
I do.
Rob, we have to talk.
I don't look at the whole mythos of Terminator because they trashed it the minute they made 3.
I agree.
Right. So I take it as just a single story.
I mean, they trashed it when they made the second one
Entirely
too.
in the future.
Yeah,
it's all in the future.
Yeah.
Well, but the plot wise, the second one ruined everything that would follow. Like the logic collapses in on itself. Like it doesn't make sense anymore.
Well, that's a whole bigger kettle of fish. Because if you look at the entire Terminator franchise, like the Deadpool, why not just go back when Sarah Connor's a baby? Dead baby.
Yeah.
Nope. Terminator would have no problem. Not like Deadpool. Deadpool couldn't pull the trigger. Yep. Baby Hitler right there. And he couldn't do diddly. But no, Terminator would not stop.
Nope.
So.
Yeah.
But
I fell asleep in the theater to Terminator Salvation. But that's me. It's me.
Okay. Well,
I love you. It's just me.
That's that. Mine is a new guy on the scene recently. Came out Paul Giamatti. You've heard of him. I first got to see him in a blockbuster, but since then I've seen him in a couple other ones and even a remake of The Fugitive just recently, which I thought was incredibly well done. But it's Boyd Holbrook.
Oh, nice.
From Logan.
Ah, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the guy who plays the hunter, right?
The Predator.
Yeah, Pierce.
Yeah.
Oh, the Predator. Yes, I love him in the Predator.
Yes, that was the other one. I was trying to think real quick. What was the other one? But he was in a remake of The Fugitive, which is on Roku.
I didn't even know that existed.
It's broken.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, it's 14 parts. They're about 8 minutes each, and Kiefer Sutherland plays the marshal going after him. And they do a great job of modernizing the story.
Nice.
Is this also like a failed Quibi show? Because that's what the Quibi model was.
That might be it. Because they've got a bunch of those shows on there.
So we have 2 Quibi actors casted in Blade Runner now.
Yep. Yeah.
A+. Props to Quibi for failing.
But luckily because now Roku's picking those up. Like they're following that model.
They had a Jonathan Glazer show too, which I'm not sure.
They have one called Murder House Flip, okay, which is like the reconstruction ones, but it's houses that have had mass murderers live in them.
Yeah.
And
A+.
I just saw the first one. It's one person, but they break it into 3 parts, so they're like 8 minutes long. And this guy lived in the house and killed people and buried them in the yard. So the people go, when we come out to this yard, we feel depressed. We need it, spruced up. So they put a gazebo and they put it's
a murder gazebo.
And then another one's called Murder Unboxed. And they basically bring a box of evidence and they bring out all the items and they show you what happened. Mm-hmm. It's interesting little things, but like you said, they're bite-sized. They're 8 minutes, 9 minutes long tops.
Yeah.
There's one called Die Hard with John Travolta and Kevin Hart, where Kevin Hart is trying to be an action hero. So each one of these episodes is a different movie.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Like I'm
This is interesting.
So you get a chance. It's on Roku. It's free. Check it out. But yeah, Boyd Holbrook, The Fugitive, and the new
nice
Deckard.
pick. In that same vein, I want to throw up one honorable mention that just came to mind. In that same vein, a new up and comer.
Paul Giamatti.
Oh, Paul Giamatti. He's just pushing that.
Yep.
Wyatt Russell. See, I have a problem with Wyatt Russell right now.
Okay.
I cannot look at him and not see his dad. Even John Walker, I'm watching him there and the way he's delivering the lines and everything. It's like, this is just a young Kurt.
I can get past that. unless he starts doing a really bad John Wayne impression, I can get past it.
I think if they're going to remake The Thing, now is the perfect time because they've got a young Russell they can stick back as McCready.
Yeah.
And the performance will be the same.
Don't you dare! I'm real upset right now. I'm gonna be messaging all of you guys during a certain movie. not fucking naming.
I think it's been named.
I fucking ruined it. I'm sorry.
No.
Cut me out. Cut me out.
Yeah, we'll edit that out of the live stream.
Out of the posted episode, I mean, I'm not delusional.
No.
All right, why Russell is a diluted version of Kurt Russell, I have to say, in my opinion. I don't think he has like that kind of energy so far. I do like him as an actor. I just think he's a different actor. And I think that people are trying to use him as his father all the time because they look the same. He's a weird looking Captain America, I have to say. God. Like the it doesn't look right. The mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
That first image, the chin. There were memes out there. That first image, the first introduction of him, he looked like the old man from Up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked like somebody shoved like a weird shaped face into the mask.
His jaw was too square.
I didn't know it was him from that picture.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen him without a beard.
Yeah.
Every other role I've seen him in, he's had a beard.
I do have to say, so like somebody who is like existing in the shadow of their father, like they have to like differentiate themselves and like, you know, they have to pick new things and do new things. And I think he should just try to like, you know, portray a different character, and that would help sustain his like overall image over time versus like, I'm gonna be like my dad's character, and like it's like Mr. like he's dressing up in a suit that's way too big for him. Do you know what I mean?
And see, that's where I'm thinking, if you're trying not to be your father, why do you have a beard? Because that's all Kurt Russell has anymore.
I mean, he's Captain America without a beard now.
Yeah,
without this.
The first movie for Wyatt Russell that really made him stand out to me though was Goon 2, Last of the Enforcers.
I haven't watched that.
He plays a really good hockey player that is like he's gonna take down Doug and everything, but he really just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed him in that. That's the first movie that he really stood out to me.
I have to watch it, but I have to watch Goon first. So
you haven't seen
Goon's good. I like Goon a lot actually.
And you say you're a Kim Coates fan.
Well, yeah, and I know he's in both of them. It's the only thing of his I haven't seen.
Kim Coates, huge Habs fan, and so am I.
And both seasons of Bad Blood. It's a mob TV show starring Kim Coates.
We mentioned that one.
Oh,
yeah, him and Anthony the Poly.
The first thing that jumped in my head was Bloodlines. I don't know why, because it's not even the same show.
No.
Oh, wow. Well, Stefan, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
This was a hoot. I can't wait to do more films like this.
Yeah.
Unnamed films.
Stefan back on for like the Goonies or something.
No. Pick a movie I like, please. But I don't hate the Goonies, by the way. I think it's fine. I just like I don't like look at it. I'm like, that's a movie that I love. I'm like, it's a movie that's okay.
See, when we do top 10 lists, the guest picks the topic. But with this recasting, nope.
Stop.
Titling this one. This is called The Movie Madhouse, episode 384. Drag Stefan to hell.
Yes. I am there now. That
one's for you, Mitch.
It's okay.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. But plug in a good podcast to watch, Drag Mitch to Hell.
Listen to. We have no visual component.
What?
Do you know why?
Field,
I say so many awful things during our podcast. I trash a lot of stuff, and I have to cut myself out of it because I'm just trashing it nonstop. And I just to be more polite, like there's some movies that we were reviewing that I was incredibly rude to that I will not fucking post.
So him editing would look like a ransom video. Bring the cash.
Yeah, if somebody like got a hold of our masters for episodes, it would be no.
Well, I think on this podcast, I don't think we'd ever have anybody connected to the movie Amerigeddon on here.
Nope.
Or that Locked Up one that I watched.
Nope.
Even Centipede could even be questionable.
We should recast that.
Yes.
No, thanks.
Recast Human Centipede?
Sure, why not?
No, absolutely not. No,
I don't want to be either, by the way. That's like saying a Serbian film, let's recast that. I'm like, hard no.
Alrighty. Well, dude, thank you again. This has been a blast. We will have you back on for a movie you enjoy.
Let me know when that happens.
We'll find one.
Wasn't there a new Peppa Pig movie that just came out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that one.
Peppa Pig. Everybody loves Peppa Pig.
Exactly.
You mean the Nicolas Cage Peppa Pig?
Isn't that Willy's Wonderland?
No, he's in a movie called Pig now.
With the pig, yeah.
What?
He's a movie where he owns a truck pig that is kidnapped, and he is left brutalized after the fact, and he goes to find his truffle pig. And I think
Cage doing a pig version of John Wick.
It's exactly it.
No, but it's not. It's. I think that's why it's not doing well right now. It's because people are like thinking it's gonna be like a John Wick movie, but it's like a really somber movie about this guy who's like was previously a high-end chef and has abandoned his career for like a more like sustainable pig related truffle pig related existence.
Sounds like a sequel to Silent but Violent. Okay.
It's very quiet. Goat. It's a very quiet movie.
That's literally what it is, a guy and his goat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Which movie?
Silent but Violent. Or Silent but Deadly, sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Silent but Violent.
That's where you're
Silent
going.
but Violent. Yes.
Silent but Deadly with Jason Mewes.
No,
yes.
Silent but Violent was what he saw in the theater.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just picturing Bangkok Dangerous, Nicolas Cage, and they build the movie as an action thing, and then there's like 2 scenes of action. So yeah. I'm getting that same feeling here.
It's not an action film. Have your expectations in the correct box. It's still a good movie, though. I'd say go see it.
I'll just watch Willy's Wonderland again. I liked it.
Don't do that. Go see Pig. See, like at least it's interesting. I think it suffers from the fact that people think it's going to be like a John Wick movie, and
I just think the story is so reverse John Wick. We kill your dog, you come after us. Now we steal your pig, you're coming after us.
Using sausage links as nunchucks.
Oh, yeah. And that took a weird turn. Was that my pig? Alrighty, for another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
I'm Stefan, and Blade Runner is not a good movie.
And we'll see you later.
Bye.
I say, shut up! It's a man!